So we've done slope. So now we're going to do slope in the coordinate plane. In other words, we're going to find slope of a line. So let's make sure we remember how to do slope. So both of these start at 0, 0. You look for the good intersections. I'm going to do this lower one first. So they're an equidistant pattern. You go down, and then when you're even with the other one, right, you go down until you're even with the previous point, and then you make your right triangle. We're going to do the same thing today. The scale here is nice. It's ones, and that will be the case today, so that's not a problem. We're just going to count boxes. The rise is 1, the run is 4, the slope of this is 1/4. Now we'll look at the other one. We have an intersection there and intersection there. They're equally distant. So you go down until you're even with the previous one, down until you're even with the previous one. The rise is 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The run is 1. This one has a slope of 4/1, which we write as a slope of 4. Right? The bigger the number, the more the arrow points toward the ceiling. Okay, so now it's going to be in the coordinate plane. So we're going to find the slope. That's the symbol for line. So that's line AB is how you say that. We're going to find the slope of that. So I've given you some good intersections. So let's go down from B, and then it goes over to 0, 0. So our rise is 2, our run is 5, and the slope is 2/5. It's the same thing. Now, notice you want to count boxes. We're not going to look at these negative numbers because they really don't have anything to do with it. In this area, the rise is still 2, the run is still 5. The slope is 2/5. Anywhere, it should be the same everywhere along the line. Right? You're going to pick good intersections. So it's a little harder to do it with the smaller boxes, but that's why you pick a bunch of them so you know that you have an equidistant pattern. So we're going to go along. I think I'm seeing one right there, seeing another one there, another one there. Then go backwards into the quadrant 3 here, and right, I have a nice equidistant pattern. So we're going to find it in 3 different locations, right? The slope should be the same everywhere. So we can go down one, then over here. You can do it there. You could do it there. In every case, the rise, right, how much it goes up. Let's make sure we review that. So it's rise over run. So the rise, how much it goes up is 1. The rise is always up. It's not just the length, it's how much it goes up. And the run is always in the same direction. We go from left to right. Oh, by the way, so we have these arrow there. That's because it's a line, right? This line is going this way. All right, and we're going to talk more about that. And so the slope is just the same as we've been doing. It's 1/3. Now, with the smaller boxes, it's definitely easier to miss. Say you missed this, you didn't see it, and you went down here and you went over there, right? You'd get a rise of 2 and a run of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? But you're not going to leave it that way because you always simplify your fractions. If you miss an intersection and go skip over 1 or 2, you can still get the right answer as long as you simplify your fraction. All right, we're going to find the slope and the y-intercept now, both. Right, so let's start with the slope. So you pick any two good intersections, you go down and you go over. The rise is 2, the run is 1. Oops, I don't want to put it there because I want to have another graph. So the slope is 2/1, also known as 2. What is the y-intercept? It's where the line crosses the y-axis. So where does it cross that? It crosses it right there. I'm going to clean up a little bit. It crosses at 0, -6. Right? All y-intercepts start with 0. You don't just write -6. You have to write 0, -6 for the y, and you can't abbreviate it y because -6 by itself is y coordinate. This is a y-intercept where it crosses the y-axis. Now, the x-intercept is right there, but I didn't ask for that. Why? It turns out that we more often want to know about the y-intercept than the x-intercept, and you're about to find out in another lesson. All right, so let's try again. Find the slope. You can do it anywhere. I'll do it here. So the rise there is 3 boxes. The run is 2. Now let's do it in a different color. So the rise is 3, the run is 2, so the slope is what? It's 3/2, and we leave it that way. Now what's the y-intercept? It's where the line crosses the y-axis. So where do they cross? They cross right there, And we say that is 0, 3. And that point where they cross is called the y-intercept, as an interception. Now, here's where it gets tougher. This line goes down, right? And it has nothing to do with that, but right, we've always been going up. Whether it has an arrow on that, both sides or not, all of those are going up because you read it from left to right, like you read. So to read this from left to right, it's going down. Remember the ones where I had a candle or the tank was leaking? They were going down. Okay, so now what's going on here? So let's go. So we're going to find the slope. That's all I asked. I didn't ask for the intercept. Now, so the run is 2. Now, the run will always be a positive number. There's no such thing as a positive run. Now, what is this rise? It's not 3. It's going down 3. How are we going to show going down 3, right? The word rise means going up, but it's not doing that. So the rise here is -3. Now, every textbook will write this answer with a negative in front. But that negative comes from the rise. And so the slope here is -3/2. And I'm going to, unfortunately, wrote that right where the next problem is going to be. So I'm going to erase that. But the slope of that is -3/2. Okay, so let's get the next one and see that. So this is also going down, right? It's going down. So we're going to draw our turn. Now notice, oh, by the way, so when we've been drawing our ramps, right, they have been jump ramps. That's where we started. The ramp is going to face the other way now. It's going to be a landing ramp, right? The ramp facing the other way is a dead giveaway that you have a negative slope. So once again, the run, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The run is 5. The run will always be a positive number. Now the rise, this is going down 1. So the slope here is -1/5. All right, so look at those, compare them to all the other ones on your paper. These have a negative slope. You can always picture them over here in the first quadrant, right? That is going down. This arrow is here just because it's a line. Ignore that. All right, so let's try this one. First of all, is it a positive or negative slope? Think about that, and then we're going to find the slope and y-intercept. Notice we have a jump ramp, so we're jumping. We have a rise of +2. We have a run of 5, so the slope here is 2/5. And the y-intercept, where it crosses the y-axis, is at 0,2. That one, notice the ramp now is facing the other way. The run is +3, the run is always positive, but now the rise, it goes down 2 and over 3. So the slope here is -2/3. What's our y-intercept? Our y-intercept is right there where it crosses the y-axis. It's at 0,4. All right, we've talked about this. Horizontal lines all have a slope of 0. So 2 of those have a slope of 0. So which 2 have a slope of 0? Line GH has a slope of 0, right? Because even though it's at 4 the whole time, right? It never rises. It never drops either. Its rise is 0. And you can put 0 over anything except 0, and you get a slope of 0. What is the other one that's horizontal, right? You have to know this word horizontal, right? Line JK also has a slope of 0. So let's try the one that's different now. LM. What is line LM? What's its slope? Well, there's only 2 good intersections. That's not a good intersection, right? It's in halfway. It is at -2.5, by the way. So I'm going to draw my triangle. I go down, and when I'm even to the other one, I get that. So the rise is 1. How far is it from -10 to +10? It's 20. Yeah, the slope of that is 1/20. That's a small number, right? It's a little bit bigger than 0, right? As the thing gets bigger, it points up more. This is almost flat, but not quite. It's a slope of 1/20. All right, so let's practice. So we draw our triangle. The rise is 1. run is 2. The slope is 1/2. And what is the y-intercept? Now, it has a y-intercept. It's got a fraction in it. All y-intercepts start with 0. So if this is 1 and that one is at 0, it's halfway in between. The y-intercept there is 0, 1/2. It's halfway between 0 and 1. Yes, you could write 0.5, but why? Why does that make it better? Final question. Find the slope and y-intercept. Now, the ramp faces the wrong way. We still have a run of 1. We have a rise of -2. We're going down 2. Our slope is -2. What's our y-intercept? It's right there. It's 0, -3. Y-intercept is 0, -3. Don't you dare ever leave out the 0 when you write a y-intercept. Y-intercepts always start with 0. X-intercepts always end in 0. And you can see it there. It's got a fraction in there. It's halfway between -1 and -2. Good luck with the homework.